Hello. Oh, we got a crazy dog. Don't know what that accent was. Don't put that on.
So dirty. Good morning, folks.
Hi.
How you doing? It's been a long time since we made a vlog. So a bit of a break from YouTube, but we've been busy in the background. And as you can see, we've got a new addition to the farm.
This is our new puppy called Oran. We got him maybe 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks, yeah.
So he's just over 10 weeks old now. And very excitable, as you can probably see. Border Collie. So we're quite excited to have him here on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully helping us eventually.
That seems a long way off. He's really into biting at the moment. We've had some very sleepless nights where he's been keeping us up.
Yeah.
And
early mornings.
Early mornings.
Turning us into real farmers.
And trying to train him as much as we can right now. We're trying to at least just get him to know all the simple stuff like sit and stay and heel and his name. But we've also been introducing him to all the livestock. We haven't been putting him in with the goats yet because we don't want him to get too terrified or scarred from...
They're pretty feisty.
Yeah, they could headbutt him.
Yeah. Mandy was always the dog headbutter.
But yeah, we're getting there with him. I think we're turning a corner with his biting. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But he seems to be doing that a lot less. But this is just a natural phase that I think all puppies go through. But Border Collies being very high energy and very intelligent dogs. Yeah. And yeah, we do hope to train him to work with our livestock, at least to be able to just stop and stop some animals from going the way we don't want them to go.
Help with taking them to the different pastures that we rotate them around, which should be just... Yeah, it's always just helpful to have more than one person, but a dog can really
aid in
improve that.
Yeah. I mean, we've got no intention to win any dog trials or sheep herding trials with him, but as long as he can be a useful asset to the farm as well as being a good companion and incredibly cute.
Yeah.
Mesmerised by the chickens at the moment. That's one of the hardest parts of this morning walk, is to get him past the hens without him sitting there and staring at them for half an hour. But I'd probably want to do that if I was a puppy. So yes, it's been a while since we've made a vlog, and autumn is definitely with us now. We've got lots of beautiful colours on the trees. Temperatures are much lower than they were. We're getting mild frosts. Our growing season is coming to the end. We're on our third last week of our community supported agriculture veg box scheme. And yeah, we've taken a bit of a break from YouTube. We just seem to naturally do that. But we've been still adding content up on our Patreon. And if you follow us at Patreon or follow our Instagram or Facebook, you'll know that we've been busily adding to the farm. So as you saw, we've got Oran, our Border Collie puppy, but we've also got some new goats. Rosa's just about to come out and milk them now. But today's vlog is going to be quite a catch-up vlog. We're going to have a look at these new animals because we've got some other ones of the fluffy and woolly variety that we just acquired. So I'll introduce you to those in a minute or two. But yeah, today is going to be a bit of a catch-up. We're going to have a look around the farm, see what's changed in the weeks that we haven't made a vlog. We'll have a look at see where the chickens are, where the geese are, the goats, and these new additions. We'll take a quick look into the market garden, just see what we can do. The weather's not looking great today. It's a bit of a rainy, misty day, a little bit of mist up on the tap. But yeah, we'll just take a wander around, see what's changed, what hasn't changed, and give you guys a catch up. But I think we'll head over to the milking parlour just now and introduce you to our new goats.
Of milk. So this is Heather, and that over there is Hellie, and there are two new British Saanen milking goats. I've had them for maybe 2 weeks now or so, for 2.5 weeks. They produce a lot of milk. They've kidded about 2 months before they came, so they're really full of milk, and they had been being milked by the previous owner, but using a machine. So when they arrived, I thought they would be okay with being hand milked instantly because the previous owner had stripped out the milk still with her hands, but they just were too nervous. It was a new place and things, so it's a bit of a drama. It was a late night because they get milked at night as well, and there was a lot of spilt milk and tears, and so I actually got out. We're very lucky to have a milking machine, which I don't really use. I do prefer to hand milk, but it's very useful to have for these exact situations, or if we have just tons of milk and very little time. So they've been being milked using that machine behind me there for the past couple of weeks, and I just started hand milking them in the evenings when there was a bit less milk, and they've gotten used to me now. So I'm still keeping an eye on their legs. They're used to being able to move around a bit, because you can with a milking machine attached to your teats. But they're being very good now. Good.
They're quite a big breed, aren't they?
They're really big. They make the other goats look small. People often comment that the other goats are quite big. So these guys are very leggy, but amazingly, they don't seem to jump. They're very well behaved, and yes, they're hugely productive. Having a stretch. So yeah, so this is just one of the milkings. We'll be milking Heather again just this evening. So it's about half of her milk now. Okay. So yeah, she's made about 1.7 litres just now. The main thing I found that's difficult about milking these guys, aside from getting them used to me, has been that because they're very productive, by the time I'm milking them in the morning at the moment, they're really full, and it's quite hard to squeeze their teats. Once they start to loosen up a bit from some of the milk, getting some of the milk out into the bucket, it's a lot easier and a lot quicker to squeeze. But these first few squeezes, as you'll see, are a bit of a mess. And Hellie, bless her, has lovely teats, but one does really face out that way. So especially now when it's quite tight, it's almost impossible for me to get it in the bucket. So this is the best bed.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's a no-no as well. Like, you don't want to get it on their
hoof.
Yeah. This makes them kick. Good girl.
Hello, Heather. Hello, Heather. It's the microphone. Alright, I'm going to leave Rosa to finish off milking Hellie there, and she'll take them back to the buyer, and then of course go and get Mandy. And Pea might come along for the ride, but Rosa's been drying Pea off over the last month or so, so that's been going well. So I'm going to head into the buyer, where Mandy is peacefully waiting to be milked, and I'm going to introduce you to our third new arrival on the farm. We've met Oran, our Border Collie pup. We've met Hellie and Heather, our two British Sannons, our two new milking goats. And we're also very pleased to say we have 3 sheep on the farm now. And they are 3 Shetland ewes. Hello, hello, hello. They just arrived 3 days ago. So we've been bringing them into the byre here. They've got their own little compartment next to the goats. And we bring them in the evening, and we kind of keep them in the morning. I'm just trying to get them used to us coming and going, bringing in a bucket of food and water. But then we're also putting them out in what we've always called the calf paddock, which is attached to the byre, calf paddock, because we did have some Shetland cows once upon a time. And we had a calf. So now we've got some Shetland sheep. So Shetland sheep are really hardy old breed, originating from the Shetland Isles in the far north of Scotland. I never thought I'd get sheep, to be honest. I've always been slightly put off the idea of getting sheep. Just some of the complications that seem to come with some of the more modern breeds, with regards to lambing and things. So I wanted to find us some sheep that were going to do the job for us, and that job is working on the grazing here. While the geese do a fantastic job, we have still got a lot of grass which isn't being utilised, so we thought we'd get some sheep. But of course we're interested in the potential of a food source from their meat. Well, not these guys, sorry, I just saw their ears raise in fear, but of course we're going to be keeping these as our breeding ewes, but potentially their offspring when we get them in lamb. Really interested in the fibre in the wool. Shetland wool is one of the finest wools you can get, And you can't quite see it in this light, but you know, the three girls are all various colours, browns and blacks and whites and greys and different mottled tones. So lots of potential, very small size as you can see. Obviously this can be off-putting to some people because they don't see it as worthwhile an animal to raise, certainly for meat. The meat is meant to be a very good flavour. You know, for our needs, this sheep potentially on paper looks like it's going to be a very interesting breed to work with. Very hardy, can be out in all weathers, very resilient, great mothers. Yeah, all in all a hardy breed, and that's what we are really wanting to focus on here, are animals that can adapt to our climate and our surroundings and our needs. So I'm going to let the sheep out. I'm going to see if they'll follow me out into the calf paddock. We've got an electric fence, partially electrified, partially stock fenced paddock. So we've been training them to the electric fence. I'm not sure they had ever come across electric netting before. I'll just keep on doing that over the week, I think, just keeping them inside here, getting them used to me coming in with a bucket of feed, taking them out into quite a small safe paddock before we then try and rotate them around all the grazing cells that we use with the goats and the geese. Come on, sheep. Come on. Slowly. Alright, they don't seem to be coming. So I'll get a bucket of food. Just wanted to see how close they would come without being tempted with food. Oh, you're going to come this way after all, are you? There we go. So now they're out in the open. You can see the different colours that we've got here. They came with names. So the Murret, or the brown one, is Christina, and the white one is Belinda, and the Fleckett one, I think it is it Fleckett? She is Sana. And hello, Christina here is definitely the bravest one and the dominant one out of the three of them. She kind of tells the others what to do. So I'll be interested to see how they progress. I really hope they can get a little bit more used to us, a bit more tame. They've come from a fibre farm down in East Lothian where they are bucket trained and everything anyway, so they're probably the tamest of Shetland sheep that we can find, because often they're quite wild. But we want them to be able to follow us because we want to, like I was saying earlier, we want to integrate them into our grazing systems. We want them to be grazing all around the areas here and just taking the grass that the goats leave behind. You know, and the goats are browsers naturally, so they have a tendency to go for the taller grazing or browse. But of course they eat grass as well. But the sheep will take it down a bit more, or we might be able to put the sheep in areas that we don't put the goats, for instance. It might mean that we reduce our goose population a little bit, because it's amazing how much grass the geese eat. I'll show you where the geese are in a wee while. We really hope we can move the sheep reasonably easily around this wee farm. Really great to have them here. It's just starting to feel very full. We've got sheep, goats, geese, chickens, a farm dog. So yeah, we've suddenly taken on quite a bit more life here, but that's what it's all about. How's Pea been doing?
Yeah, just a quick moment while Pea is peeing. Well, she's had an abscess in her back right hoof. Didn't know that this is what it was for ages. She was limping. I thought it was just because she does have like mild arthritis. She's very old. She's almost 14, and so I thought that was it. But actually, she was lifting up her foot a bit, and then one day there was blood on the milking stanchion when she walked on it, and it looked like the abscess had burst. And there was definitely a smell to it as well. So we've had various different dressings on it, and I need to change this one today. This one now on there is just a kind of plain poultice with a little bit of tea tree oil on, but before that I've been giving it kind of Epsom salt baths and putting different kind of herbal remedies on, and did use some antiseptic as well. And although she still looks as though she's limping, she's a lot better than she was. We haven't really caught on film how she was when she was at her worst, but she was hardly walking. So I really need to trim all her hooves, to be honest, today. I've been avoiding doing that because she finds it very difficult to have one off the ground. But really, that would be a good thing to do today, along with the one where I'm hoping the infection has cleared up. I'll wait till the infection clears up until I trim that hoof. So yes, she's okay. She's elderly. She stays in a lot. Actually, part of the idea of getting the new goats was that Mandy would have companions to be out grazing with her, and then one day, unfortunately, when Pea's not here, Mandy wouldn't be alone. So Pea is having a bit of a hard time, I think, with the new goats because they're very young and she's not dominant anymore. But I think it is good in the long run for her because it's really meaning that she gets to stay inside sometimes if she wants to, and Mandy can still graze and stuff.
You've been drying Pea off?
Yeah, don't milk Pea anymore. She's actually coming to the stanchion. I'm still keeping her to that so I can check on her foot. Some days she doesn't come out. And yeah, I just wanted her to be able to use all of the nutrients rather than just be giving us a little bit of milk. She was still giving us she's giving us between 700 millilitres and a litre a day, depending on what was available outside. She took quite a long time to dry off. I guess I've been milking her for the whole time since she was here, and then I think that had been still a year before she'd kidded. So it was it was over 3 years since she'd kidded, and she was still giving, in fact it was over 4. I get confused, but it's a long time. And she was still producing milk. She's been a great goat and a great learner goat, very patient and lets you learn how to milk on her. So for a lot of friends that have come to learn how to milk, she's been their companion. So she's been a great goat, which is why we care about making sure that she feels okay right now. All right? Yep.
So yeah, we've reached that point of the year when the focus is back onto the animals a lot more than it is on the market garden. We're going to be heading into the market garden quite soon, so you can see how it's looking in October. But we're going to take the goats up to the North Field now, which is one of their favourite grazing rotations. Northern Field at the top of our farm, full of raspberries and broom and briar and trees and rough grazing, and they really love it up there. I'd love to see how the sheep go up there at some point, but for now it's goat paradise.
I could sit in this chair for 1,000 years and watch the woods consume the neighborhood, watch the ambitions come and go, surround me and engulf me. We could ditch the TV and spend a little more time reading books and singing songs on the porch, sit here watching the daylight wane, leaving little trace and even less memory. I just want to be still. I just want to be still. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be free of these things things that are weighing heavy on me, that keep me from doing or going on, knowing the sun comes up, I go back to sleep. In our so-called liberation of self, we have only bound the shackles more tightly. Free up your mind and start thinking a good thought. Free your mind and be still. Free your mind and be still. Free your mind and be still, and be still. Time has brought us up to this point, it will carry us far beyond it until we are nothing. Sometimes I feel like we're just words on a page. Close your eyes and be still. Close your eyes and be still. Close your